Pinky was my greatest happiness and is now my greatest sadness.
It is said there is no more crushing pain than that caused by the loss of a child. And if that child is savagely murdered, there is a rage that can ravage the soul. In the case of Pinky Andressian, even seasoned prosecutors.
The manner in which he killed him was particularly cruel.
And veteran cops brace themselves for the wretched reality of a murder they'll never erase from their minds.
You hope for the best, but you prepare yourself for the worst.
I heard from people in my office that this case is going to haunt you.
Aramazd Andressian Jr., nicknamed Pinky, wasn't just a precious child.
One of Pinky's favorite songs was "You Are My Sunshine." And that's exactly what he was, and that's what he is. He's a bright, beautiful ray of sunshine.
Pinky was an old soul, a magnet for people and animals. He loved nature and planting gardens.
His smile just radiates, changes everything. You know, you have a bad day, you see him, everything changed. It was just, he was like, he made any day better.
He was the only child of Aramazd Andressian Sr. and Anna Estevez.
She wanted this child, and it was her life. She put everything into that.
Anna's journey to motherhood was hard-fought.
She had been through in vitro, spent thousands of dollars to get pregnant, had 5 miscarriages.
Yeah.
Not long after Pinky was born, the marriage between Anna and Andressian soured. The couple divorced and the court ordered joint custody. Under the terms of the visitation agreement, the couple was to exchange the child on neutral turf.
They always had a mutual meeting place.
Yeah, there was always a mutual agreement to meet at either a police station or somewhere in public.
The divorce was a bitter one. Anna didn't trust Andressian. She had a dash cam installed in her car to record all exchanges of the child. One spring morning, the couple agreed to a rendezvous point for Andressian to pick up his son for a trip to Disneyland. Pinky and his father had a full week to spend together.
He was supposed to return the child after 7 days, and the return was supposed to take place in San Marino at 8 that morning.
Anna arrived at the designated location anxious to see her son.
She waited for hours at this drop-off place in San Marino to receive her child.
But father and son never arrived. Anna had not heard a word from either of them.
Obviously, Anna became very, very concerned. She reported to the police that her son was missing.
Just a few miles west in South Pasadena, investigators were working another bizarre case. Someone had reported a man lying in the road. That man was Aramazd Andressian.
Aramazd Sr. was found in the parking lot at Arroyo Park in South Pasadena. He was near his car, which was an older model BMW.
He passed out. He was found about 35 feet from the car.
Aramazd Sr. was semi-conscious and appeared to be somewhat delusional when he was found by a passerby.
Court documents reveal Andressian's hands were scratched and his fingernails were filled with dirt.
He had a small laceration or abrasion to the top of his head. He had some scratches to his forearms, his hands, and he complained of bruising to his ribs.
No defensive wounds.
No defensive wounds.
Little Pinky was nowhere to be seen, and to make matters worse, his father appeared in no condition to explain why.
He was also found to be under some other opiates, some other prescription medications as well.
Andressian was transported to a hospital. When he came to,
Initially, did Aramazd Sr. say that he was robbed or some people accosted him or approached him?
His initial statement to police officers when they responded to the hospital after he had been transported was he didn't know what happened.
Could Andressian have lost his only child because of a pill-induced stupor?
He kept on saying, "I just fell asleep and woke up and detectives were talking to me."
Police documents show Andressian made a curious comment to the booking officer, quote, "I bet they think of me like some kind of Casey Anthony," and then stated he was, quote, "probably all over the news by now."
What was he acting like? Was Aramazd Sr. acting like a father who was distraught and searching for his son?
He never asked about the condition of his son or whether or not his son had been located.
Andressian turned the focus on his ex-wife as a possible suspect.
He felt he had been set up. Anytime we would question him, he would go back and ask us to look at Anna. He would start talking about the divorce, how contentious it was, that he had been followed.
Police held Andressian on suspicion of child endangerment and child abduction, but not for long. They had to cut him loose.
There just wasn't enough evidence to arrest him and to try him.
He's very happy to be out of custody so that now he can focus his sole attention on trying to find his son.
At this point, we're treating this as a missing person investigation.
Coming up, a distraught mother clings to hope.
This message is for you, my love. Be brave, honey.
But while cops in the community dig deep, Aramazd Andressian is flying high, and not just on prescription pills.
We actually have a photograph of him in tandem skydiving with a huge grin on his face, acting completely different than one would expect if a father's child was missing.
So no pings?
No pings at all. And he planned this, and we knew he planned this.
And Andressian had created a will days before the visit with his son.